Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, my friends. This is Kevin Lopez from Personal Tutors. Today, I'm taking a chapter to debrief from the class 12th book, With Stars, and the topic is Evans tries an O-level. My friends, this is a play written by the famous Colin Dexter, who is a famous playwright and has been giving satirical approaches towards various conditions that we as professionals experience. It's about a kleptomaniac prisoner named Evans. It's about the governor of the prison. It's about Jackson and Stephens, who are assistant secretary of the prisons, and Reverend McCleary, who is an invigilator. Now, the story goes as it has been 6 months. Evans has been studying the O-level language in German. At the end of the course, his tutor congratulates him, whereas receives a reply that Evans would be going ahead and surprising people now. Alarmed by the thought that Evans is a kleptomaniac who has escaped prison for 3 times consecutively, everybody seems to be a bit warned. Thus, the protagonist, Evans, demands an examination for the O-level. The governor of the prison is a bit skeptic about this request received by Evans, yet according to the law, the criminal has to be provided something for the betterment of him in the mode of education. Thus an examination was arranged, and to ensure not letting Evans run away from the prison, it was arranged inside the cell. The cell was actually searched, padded, formalized, so that there would be nothing that would help Evans escape. Now the exam starts. It was Reverend McCleary who was assigned to conduct the examination in the prison. Reverend McCleary comes in with a box, a suitcase in which he has got the question paper and all sort of things, and the examination starts. During the examination, one of the assistants, the secretary, receives a call from the governor saying that the scribbling sheet, suggestion sheet has not been given, so they need to provide it once again. He goes ahead to get the sheet. While he returns back, he finds a person covered in a blanket lying on the chair where Evans was supposed to be, and the blood was smearing out of his head. Immediately they came to know that Evans had hit Reverend McCleary and ran away, because once the paper was finished, it was Jackson himself who escorted Reverend McCleary to the gate. On returning to the cell, he saw Reverend McCleary smeared in blood. Thus, it all came back to him that it was Evans who had disguised himself as Reverend McCleary and escaped. The governor shouts, there's a big shamble, there's a chaos in the prison and everything. The alarm comes up and everything goes, hell breaks loose, my friends. It's just that then they decide to take Reverend McCleary to the hospital. They escort him to the hospital, and then the terror strikes. The real Reverend McCleary was found somewhere else, tied with a cloth, gagged in his mouth, disrupting him from shouting or any saving calls. Once again, it comes to the fact that the person lying in the prison bleeding was Evans himself, who did not flee whereas he himself was taken to the hospital from where he fled. Now, the plot changes. Evans has escaped. It is the governor who reaches somewhere where Evans had not expected. The scene changes. Evans opens the door of the hotel room, enters inside, and alas, in front of him, the governor is sitting on the bed. Evans was astonished. He wanted to know how the governor went ahead and came to know about his whereabouts. It was governor who said that the suggestion slip that he had received had a few numbers, 3315217, and that was the number, that was the room number and the street number where the hotel was situated, and Evans himself had written in the answer sheet that he would be there. Thus, the governor showed his intelligence, my friends. A policeman arrives in, handcuffs Evans, and makes him sit in the van. The governor smiles at Evans and passes by, as if a winning smile. Later on, the policeman who is escorting Evans to the prison stops the van and uncuffs him and let him go. This really gives us a satirical approach that it was all planned by Evans. The tutor who had been coming to teach Evans for 6 months was his friend. The person who happened to be McCleary and came to the prison to conduct the examination was his friend. The policeman who arrested him, who handcuffed him, was once again his friend. Thus it shows the wicked mind and the plot that Evans had set up. It's really something hilarious and intriguing to know that a kleptomaniac mind thinks about so many possibilities, yet it achieves what exactly it's looking for. Let's have a look at a few question and answers, my friends. What kind of person was Evans? As I said, Evans was a congenital kleptomaniac who had a wickedness in his mind, fled from the prison 3 times in a row, was planning the 4th escape, learning the O-level in the German language, seeking the sympathy of others to give an exam, yet in his mind he was a wicked person, my friends. That's what he was doing. His intelligence and conspiring mind really boggled through various options available through which he could plan his escape. May it be the governor, may it be the assistant secretaries, may it be Reverend McCleary who was the invigilator. Everything was planned by him. All the possibilities taken into contrast, all the possibilities taken into context, and thus a successful escape plan was made by Evans. What were the precautions taken for the smooth conduct of examination? Before the conduction of examination, the governor went ahead and frisked the cell. He did not want any sharp object to reach Evans. They planned 2 chairs and a table, that's all, in the room. The question paper was sealed. Everything was checked twice so that the examination would run well and Evans would not get a chance to escape the prison, whilst making sure that he would give the examination in the cell, thus hampering his plans to flee once again, my friends. Should criminals in the prison be given the opportunity to learning and education? Of course. Crime and criminal are synonyms, yet a criminal is a human being. And according to the law, the need of learning and education always enlightens the mind. Thus, any learning, any education, any sort of education really enlightens the mind, and that's what here enticed the governor in case of Evans. Will the exam go now as scheduled? The exam was supposed to go as scheduled, but the last minute changes by the so-called call made by the governor delayed the examination that was supposed to start at 9 to 9:25. Thus the delay started taking place initially. Did the governor and his staff finally heave a sign of relief? Evans was a shrewd man. The governor and the staff really felt that the examination had been conducted well when they left the so-called Reverend McCleary at the prison gates. The thought of conducting the examination without any disturbance, without any mishap, really went ahead and gave them a sign that was timely. As they returned back to the cell, the hell broke loose when they saw blood oozing from someone's head covered in the blanket that Evans had asked because he was feeling cold and shivering. That really went ahead and blew their minds off, my friends. Will the injured McCleary be able to help the prison officers track Evans? Injured McCleary, showcasing his knowledge of German, reveals that these are the plans of Evans and he would be reaching the spot where the governor could arrest him. Although, on the contrast, it was Evans himself. That shows the perfection, my friends. Evans was disguised as McCleary. He was having a knowledge of German, read the answer paper written by Evans and exclaimed them the escape plan. He made them reach the hotel room where Evans would be found and thus helped him. Yet the wickedness and the kleptomaniac mind of Evans still went ahead and sort of played with the authorities, my friends. Remember, when he was arrested, once again he fled because a friend was handcuffing him. Will the clues left behind on the question paper put Evans back in prison again? Although the governor read the clues with the help of McCleary, that was Evans himself, reached the hotel and asked in a manner that was a winning way about Evans writing his plan on the question paper, on the answer sheet, felt as if he had overtaken the moment and got Evans back in the prison. Yet the irony here lies in a fact that Evans had planned the whole plot in a platonic way, and it was so congenial, wise and expert that they couldn't even dare dream about anything going wrong, my friends. Where did Evans go? Evans go to the hotel called Golden Lion in Chipping Norton. Reflecting on the story, what did you feel about Evans having the last laugh? Obviously, it was Evans who gets the last laugh in the story, as the ending plot clearly shows him being unhandcuffed and offering the gift of freedom, thus completing his plan of escape. During this whole scene, it seemed once that the governor had astonishingly captured Evans back by playing a part ahead of him and being present in the prison, in the hotel room, and sending him back to the prison, makes us feel that the governor has actually had the last laugh and won the game. But here, the last stanza, the last paragraph of the story shows clearly to us that it was Evans who had the last laugh today. Friends, this is a story that requires mental introspection of one's. The satirical approach that the authorities usually have, we can call it an authoritative ego of not letting anyone surpass them, and the false winning attitude that they bear in. it was Evans who actually diminished the winning trial of the governor by simply taking the last laugh. So this is a chapter from 12th Standard Vistas for NCERT syllabus. We at Personal Tutors have constantly been offering you briefs and summaries of the chapters and the poems, not only in English but all the subjects. We would solicit your suggestions, your comments, my friends, for more improvement, and we would also request you to subscribe to our channel that has reached a good number now. If you wish to have this data online, we provide it online and also in pen drives. So please do subscribe our channel, that is Personal Tutors. If you want to know something about us, you can press the button about us. Thank you today once again for attending this session, my friends.